This portion of the Smart Board training we'll be talking about the buttons over here to the right of the pens. The first one we're talking about is shapes. And inside, when we click on the shapes, it opens up a toolbar of different shapes that we have the ability to draw. We can draw circles. We can draw rectangles with curved edges. We could draw squares, ellipses, and any number of other shapes. We have a couple special ones, hearts, stars, and we also, if we click it down there, we also have the ability to put in a bunch of other shapes that are not apparent right from the get-go. We have call-out ones, and based on just the call-out itself, we don't, or any of the other forms, we don't need to leave them as they are. Once we've created them, if we highlight them and click on the down arrow, we can adjust the properties. And we have fill effects, and let's do a solid fill, and we'll just make it like a greenish color. And our line style, I like using, for callouts, I like using the thinnest line. So there, I guess you don't even need to use a line. In addition, we don't always have to change the properties afterward. We could select an object and give it properties or colors before we actually draw it. So let's see what we get out of this. And there's our blue arrow with the purple outline. And once we've drawn something too, once we have that arrow, it doesn't have to stay as a arrow pointing up or down. You could change the arrow to point in any direction you wish. And what's nice about the software as well is we could adjust it to how our objects look. In addition to those regular, well, I should say the shapes, we also have in this regular polygons. And the regular polygons is a plus because, especially in math, because of the fact that we deal with different polygons and different size or different sided figures quite often. And it also gives us the ability, it gives us all the numbers within, and it goes up to 15 sided, regular 15 sided figure. Trying to draw something like this on the board is absolutely preposterous. And again, we have different line styles. I could choose my 15-sided figure, and I can create it with dots. So there are a number of different options available to us. And again, we have the opacity, and we could make, let's go back to, and if I look at my arrow and I don't want my arrow to be as dark as it is, I can go ahead and look at our shapes again, and I can say, okay, my opacity, I want it to be more transparent when I create it in the future. So when I create my arrow, it's not a good example. Let's undo that real quick. My opacity is going to be this, and I want a fill color, so we have fill color, and let's pick it a dark red. So this way it'll give us a better idea of what it's going to look like when we have, and we again our transparency, and I draw my arrow this time, and it is a lighter red. It's more like a highlighter as opposed to the dark red that we've been using before. So those are our shapes. The next one is the fill button. And if I haven't already chosen um, a color for the inside, I can take my fill and I can pick a color that I want on the inside of my figures or figure. And then again, if I don't like what I've chosen, I also have the option of either changing it here and doing the fill again, or I can um, click on the arrow and click on the down button, and I can pick the properties here and change my color. And so, let's do transparency, and I've adjusted my transparency after I've created it. And so that's the top row portion of our um, toolbars. We talked about creating shapes, changing their colors, the line styles, and the opacity or transparency. We talked about the regular polygons, and they also have the same options. And we have fill, and the fill, again, because we don't have lines for the fill, we only have colors and the transparency portion of it. So that's it for this portion. Thank you.